And welcome back inside the Linen Rink on the campus of the Gunnery here in Washington, Connecticut. The Gunnery is a private school. For the second period of this preseason Jamboree, the BBD Ice Cats this time taking on the Green Wave of New Milford High School. And that will be the second of our three periods. BBD will finish up with the Housatonic Mountaineers in period number 3. BBD took the first period from Chippewa by a 1-0 count. Jack Crotacci notching his first unofficial goal as a BBD Ice Cat with 2 minutes to go in the period. It'll be interesting to see whether Alex Fernandez plays all three periods in goal tonight, or will Maverick Foster get a chance in net at some point. It looks like Fernandez is going to play the second period against the New Milford Green Wave team that is playing down at Division III's level this year after playing at Division II for the last 7 years. And last year they missed the tournament, the D2 tournament, for the first time in 7 years. And so this year they play down at the D3 level. Tommy Schieser, Patrick and Eric Fancher up front with Jack Crotacci and Jake Matson, and Alex Fernandez in goal to our left. And it is controlled by Zach Hook of New Milford, playing it down into the BBD zone where Jack Mayers has it. This New Milford team, unlike the Chippewa team, does have their game jerseys on, so we can tell you who these players are. That's Cameron Schaffer going back forward, one of the main threats this year for the Green Wave. Schieser deflected the pass, but it ends up being played down by Zach Hook, who could end up by the season's end being one of the best players in the state of Connecticut. And Hook steals it away. Hook scored in the first period tonight when they played Housatonic. That pass went behind Ian Donahue. It's held in the zone by Logan Massio. Now it ends up on the stick of Tommy Schieser, who will play it down into the New Milford zone in front of Ben Morano, who is one of the two senior goaltenders on this Green Wave team. They will split time with Hayden Gampietro. Puck cleared out into center ice. This is Eric Fancher working it into the New Milford zone, gets around a couple of players, including Sean Donahue. Fancher continues with it, cycles it to the right wing. Overcomes senior co-captain Anton Oleshko, wearing number 23, but it's taken away by Ian Donahue. And the stretch pass is broken up by Bryce Wallace, and Oleshko knocks down Ian Donahue. Now it's Sean Donahue, his twin brother, taking over. Hands it back to Ian through the neutral zone. And back forward is Brian Merrill, but he can't clear it out. It's played down the wall to Ian Donahue. Brian Merrill there to meet him. Comes around to the near side, and it hits the protective netting on top, and that is considered out of play, and so we'll get a face-off. This New Milford team should be a lot more competitive here at the D3 level than they were at the D2 level. And they didn't lose much to graduation, so a lot of their scorers are back. Behind the net, it's Daniel Gallagher playing it around for Tom Conlon to intercept, and Tom Conlon holds it in the zone. Tyler Caldara couldn't tee it up in front, and here come the Green Wave on their horses down the left side. This is Matt Morano, the goaltender's brother, playing it around. Jarrett Rivera down there for the Green Wave. Centering pass through to the right circle, and that got broken up. Stays in the zone, though, for Jarrett Rivera. The sophomore shoots it on net. Alex Fernandez covers it, and we get a whistle. Alex Fernandez, as we mentioned, the last man standing of the four goaltenders who played on this BBD team last year. Stephen Fanning, of course, graduated. And the other two, Joe Stefanelli and Colin Coe, have left to play full season travel. So Alex Fernandez was the last man standing. Spencer Abrams couldn't clear it out, but Alex Smith does. As the sophomore quintet out there for BBD. Kyle Bowler working for it in the neutral zone. Abrams went for the puck, and Zach Hook comes away with it. And the senior, Zach Hook, works his way in, got dumped by Abrams and Alex Smith in the corner. Kyle Bowler battling down there. Zach Cook comes away with it. Through Garvey, and the shot is stopped by Fernandez, and the rebound is controlled by Fernandez, and we get a whistle. Well, he could be the key to this whole BBD season, Alex Fernandez. In the limited play that he saw last year, Alex Fernandez sparkled. The only real blemish that I can remember was his having played the third period and overtime against the Wilton Warriors in January, and that was a game in which Stephen Fanning, Colin Coe, and Alex Fernandez each played a period, so Fernandez was not really in his full rhythm, and the Warriors scored to win it with 0.3 of a second left in overtime. That game really turned the season for BBD. You may recall they started the season 3-1-1 and looked to be on their way. As a matter of fact, one of their wins was against Mount Pleasant Cottage Union of Pleasantville, New York, whom they will start the season against next Saturday night. Mount Pleasant is a Division I team, and so by beating them last year, BBD garnered 9 points. You get more for beating a D2 or a D1 team than you would for a D3 team, and that win basically guaranteed BBD a spot in the state tournament no matter what else happened. And so it was a big start for BBD, who is now shorthanded, by the way, as Alex Smith is in the box. But from that Wilton loss, BBD then went 5-13 the rest of the way, finishing 8-14-1 and bowing out quietly in the first round of the state tournament to WMRP. Now it's the Green Wave on the power play. Ian Donahue, Logan Maciel. Here's a shot from the right point into the glove of Alex Fernandez, and there'll be no further play. That came off the stick of Jack Mayers, who is one of the seniors on this New Milford team. So the face-off will be in the BBD zone with 1 minute and 1 second left in the Alex Smith penalty. It'll be Oleshko and Patrick Fancher with Jack Kratacci and Colin McGraw killing the penalty. Ends up at the right point and cleared by Garvey. Ends up in the stick of Daniel Gallagher, who plays it across to Nick Carlucci, who once played his youth hockey in Danbury. Knows a lot of the players on this BBD team, does Nick Carlucci, who is now a freshman here at New Milford. Jarrett Rivera played for a time in Danbury as well. He knows quite a few of these players also. Oleshko off the draw, which is won by New Milford with 36 seconds left to go in the Alex Smith penalty. 4.5 gone by here in this second period as Fernandez blockers that one aside. Ian Donahue holding it in for New Milford. And it's stolen by Patrick Fancher, and he will skate it out, trying to get around Nick Carlucci. Patrick Fancher continues on his way, short-handed, into the New Milford zone, tried to get around Daniel Gallagher, and Gallagher will fight him for it. Fancher in the corner, taking time off the penalty, and now it ends up on Colin McGraw's stick. McGraw and Kratacci with Patrick Fancher, Kyle Bowler, and Anton Oleshko as the penalty to Smith is ended. Here comes Jack Mayers into the offensive zone, tried to get around the defense, hands it instead to Cameron Schoffer, who is one of the big guns on this New Milford team. He'll be expected to carry a lot of the offensive load. Offensive defenseman, played around by Kratacci, held in by Sean Donahue. Jack Mayer sends it down the wall. And it's in the stick of Evan Golembeski. Centers it in front. Jack Mayer's had his feet taken out, and the referee let that go as Zach Cook takes over. Here's a shot by Mayers that goes over the top of the net and bounces all the way out into the neutral zone, where Cam Schoffer goes back for it. Now Zach Cook, who scored a shorty in the first period against Housatonic, earlier this evening in this Jamboree. Zach Hook is supposed to be the big offensive threat here for New Milford, along with this guy, Evan Golembeski, who shot a stick to side by Alex Fernandez. Zach Hook had played here for a couple of years with New Milford, then transferred to the Canterbury School for a year and is back for his senior season. And here he comes right down Broadway, and Fernandez comes out to knock it away, and the rebound is poked wide by Golembeski. Here's a shot that Fernandez stops. It's on the doorstep, and I don't know if Hook got it through him. I think he did. So Zach Hook tallies for New Milford with 8:17 to go here in the period. It is 1-0 Green Wave. These two teams will see each other for real at the Canterbury School at the end of January, towards the end of the regular season, or at least the 2/3 mark of the regular season, January 30th. BBD and New Milford at the Canterbury School. Tyler Caldara tried to hit Tom Conlon en route. Now Matson will play it down. Daniel Gallagher back for the Green Wave, who lead at 1-0 on a goal by Zach Hook. He now has goals in each of the two periods here tonight. This is Bryce Wallace and Jake Matson as the defense pair. And Caldara gives a stiff shoulder to Bennett Danvers. Now Caldara down the left side. Shoots one that's taken by Ben Morano, and he will hold it for a face-off. Morano will be splitting time this season with Hayden Gampietro, as a pair of senior goaltenders will lead the Green Wave. And so they are a stiff threat here in the Southern Conference, with that kind of steadiness behind the net, or in the net. Ami Schieser will take the draw, one of 4 senior captains on this BBD Ice Cat team, along with Anton Oleshko, Alex Fernandez. There's a shot by Eric Fancher that's knocked away by Morano, held in by Matson. Eric Fancher to his brother Patrick, who is the 4th of the co-captains. Eric kicks it free. Will chase it down the wall with Logan Maciel. The Green Wave are able to clear, but the pass is stolen by a back-skating Schieser. And Schieser will dump it in, but he was on the other side of the red line, so that icing call will bring the play all the way down. There's a mistake for Schieser. Again, remember, this is the first time, the first night that the Ice Cats and most of these teams are able to hit somebody else. They've all been practicing since the end of the Thanksgiving weekend, and a lot of the teams in the States at all levels, a lot of the teams here in Connecticut at the D1, D2, and D3 levels are all playing these Jamboree-type events at different rinks around the state. So this is really the first chance any of these teams have to play against somebody else. Here's a steal by Eric Fancher, who has a breakaway in on Ben Morano, and Morano makes the save, and the puck ends up in the corner where Patrick Fancher chases it down, but Zach Hook comes away with it, with a lot of the Ice Cats being caught off ice. Here comes Zach Hook down the right side, has Golembeski on the left side. Sharp angle, and it's stopped by Fernandez. Here's a shot by the Green Waves' Nick Carlucci that goes over the top. Jack Mayers hands it to Zach Hook. Alex Smith knocked it away. With 6:20 left to go in the period. 1-0 for the Green Wave. Evan Golembeski. Left side, couldn't slither his way through, and the puck is stolen by Patrick Fancher. Here comes the senior from Bethel High School. Behind the net, battling for it there with Nick Carlucci. Carlucci lost his stick as the puck ends up on the far side for Jarrett Rivera, who gets met there by Kyle Bowler, and Bowler is going to sit for that. So a second power play coming for the Green Wave. I'm not so sure why that was a penalty, considering Golembeski had the puck. But let's see if that is the call. And they're going to call this on Eric Fancher, so it must have been away from the play. It wasn't on Bowler. But nonetheless, it'll be a power play for the Green Wave, their second of the period, that has 5:49 left to go. And Golembeski and Zach Hook are both on the ice for the Green Wave. So this is their #1 power play unit. Killing the penalty is Anthony Britton, Spencer Abrams, Jake Mattson, and Bryce Wallace. This is Zach Hook. Golembeski. Maciel in front of the net. They get Zach Hook in, and Fernandez stops it, and the Ice Cats are able to clear. Here comes Cameron Schaffer. Hands it to Zach Hook. Gets around Abrams. Zach Hook stops in the right circle with Britton marking him. Golembeski back to the point for Nick Carlucci. Zach Hook. Golembeski in the corner. Watched by Mattson. Here's Zach Hook, and then Fernandez is there to greet him. Spencer Abrams tries to clear it out, and he gets run over in the corner by a couple of Green Wave players, including Cameron Schaffer, and Abrams, I think, is slow to get up. He got dumped like a sack of potatoes in the corner. And let's see what the referee is going to call, if anything, here as Spencer Abrams gets up. We have 4:47 left to go in the period. I don't see any call by the official coming here. There are 58 seconds left to go in the penalty to Eric Fancher, and no penalty was called there. Now it's a little surprising. The face-off will be just outside the New Milford zone. So 51 seconds left to go in the penalty. Bryce Wallace and Kyle Bowler battle along the far side. Anton Oleshko and Jake Mattson also out killing this penalty. Here's a hard shot that was deflected and bounces past Fernandez. It hit a player in front and knuckleballed on Fernandez. And so it's a goal for the Green Wave. And I think it will go to Sean Donahue. Well, there's nothing you can really do about that, as it just deflected, lost its mustard, and Fernandez just misjudged the speed, and it's almost impossible not to in a case like that. But nonetheless, Sean Donahue scores, and so it is a 2-0 lead for the Green Wave. There's 4:25 left to go here in the middle period. Colin McGraw and Jack Bertacci are the defense pair now. Bertacci leaves it for McGraw, who plays it around. McGraw and Spencer Abrams played for the New York Apple Corps during the fall season in Brewster, so they are very much in mid-season form coming in. Here's a pass back to Cam Schaffer, who shoots it off the pad of Fernandez. Ian Donahue back for it. Oleshko pinballs it to Cam Schaffer. Here's a shot by Sean Donahue that's cleared by BBD. Here's Tyler Caldara. Anton Oleshko tried to hit Conlon, but it bounced over his stick and just a little long. Conlon now to Colin McGraw, who has trouble holding the zone, so Tyler Caldara will come back to take it in center ice with 3:30 left to go here in the period. This is Sean Donahue. Sean Donahue. Stretch pass went beyond the reach of Bennett Danvers for the Green Wave. Now Matt Morano, brother of the goaltender, playing it in with a shot that bounces off the glove of Fernandez. I think he tried to snare it and didn't do so. And it's held in by Jarrett Rivera. Tommy Schieser going back for BBD. Knocks down Bennett Danvers again. He's taken a couple of shots on this shift as Patrick Fancher starts up ice with 3 Green Wave around him. And Fancher got through, and Morano has to come out and grab it and stop play. Heck of a move there from Patrick Fancher with 2:45 left to go in the period. BBD will play 10 of its first 13 games at home. But the first one will be on the road next Saturday night at Elmsford against the Mount Pleasant Cottage Union Ice Cats. Battle of the Ice Cats. Zach Hook has it on the left side. He scored earlier in this period. Patrick Fancher takes it away, clears it down. But that should be an icing call against BBD. No, they're going to wave it off. And so Daniel Gallagher will try to play it out of his own end with 2:20 left to go in the period. 2-0 New Milford. Jack Mayers met there by Brian Merrill. Has to retreat further. Again, none of these stats will count in the regular season. This is not a regular season game. Here comes Eric Fancher working his way in. Playing his first varsity game for the Ice Cats after spending his youth career with the Wonderland Wizards. That'll be a penalty there to Tommy Schieser as a touch-up comes. And so it'll be a third power play for New Milford. Certainly some things for Rusty Graniker and company to work on as they work towards the regular season opener next Saturday. Rusty Graniker coaching BBD for the coaching the incarnation of BBD for the 16th straight year. This is the 11th year that Danbury has been added to the co-op. They play as BBD. Tyler Caldara tried to slither his way out of the zone. It's a penalty against Jack Gratacci with 1:40 left to go here in this period. The centering pass is blocked by Bryce Wallace. Zach Hook has it down low. Tried to slither it through. Britton couldn't clear it out. Cam Schoffer held it in. Logan Maciel leaves it for Golembeski. Back to Maciel. Nick Carlucci had it knocked away by Tyler Caldara. But Cam Schoffer goes back with 1 minute left to go here in this second period. 2-0 in favor of New Milford. Here's a shot by Hook that's snared by Alex Fernandez. And the senior keeps it and stops play with 55 3/10 seconds left to go. BBD will play Housatonic in the final period of this preseason Jamboree. Logan Maciel will take the offensive draw for the Green Wave, and it's chopped out of the zone by Caldara with 50 seconds to go. This is Sean Donahue. Gets around Oleshko. A centering pass, Fernandez redirected that to the corner, but it remains on the New Milford stick. Here's a shot that's blocked by Oleshko and cleared out of the zone with 29 seconds left to go. Goals by Zach Hook and Ian Donahue for New Milford. These two teams will see each other at the end of January at the Canterbury School for real. Final 12 seconds of the period as Jake Matson goes back for BBD. So they took the first period from Chippewa. They will drop the second period to New Milford. And we'll see you back for the third when they play Housatonic.